Hello, 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 and welcome to the anniversary of Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between. I am your host, James J. And always by my side, Coleco Yachts.
I'll be by your side. What's up, everybody?
And it's a great day for wrestling. And it's a great day for us. It is our 52nd episode, which in theory is 1 year on the air. So,
Damn, we made 52 weeks.
yeah. Cooper James, God rest his soul, was on the first 3 episodes. Hope he's riding in hell now. I did one episode. I did one episode alone. That was a train wreck. Then we took 3 weeks off, and then on March 8th, Coleco Yachts joined Wrestling with Entertainment, and we have not looked back.
Oh, nice to know that I was helpful in care, uh, putting this in hell in a handbasket.
And
Nice to
then
know.
1 week later, Mitch Mayhem joined the podcast, and then it went all to hell.
Eh, I'll let you debate that one.
Well, no, Mitch knows we love him. Um,
Yeah, we care.
yeah. And I'm sure we'll have another official anniversary show in March when we get closer to the first show that you were on. Um,
Oh,
but
oh yeah.
tonight we will be reviewing or previewing, I should say, NXT Takeover Portland and the Wednesday Night Wars. But first, we are wrestling with New Japan New Beginnings in Sapporo. What? I'm sure you watched the show. What were your thoughts on it?
I always try to make time to watch these things because New Japan has been, I would say, one of the hotter shows as of late. New Japan, they follow the same formula, so it's nothing new. The one thing I will say though, I like that their consistency. They're consistent. Like it's you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get hard hitting. You're gonna get good storylines. You're gonna get a crowd that knows when to boo, when to cheer. Not trying to take over the show. They're actually enjoying the show. So so for those who never watched one, I, I would uh I would say give it a shot because it might be something totally different in your eyes, and it's nice to see how the audience actually engage instead of sitting on their hands like most American shows.
Right. Night one was in Sapporo, and night two. Sapporo more of a little bit more vocal than other crowds, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they are. It's them and another one. I forgot the name. I want to say Corrigan Hall. Like those two usually are like very vocal.
Yeah. And on night one, one of the more interesting matches was Taichi and Minoru Suzuki wrestled Kazuchika Okada and John Moxley. Like, match made in hell.
Yeah, that was like that was like they just spun a Rolodex. It was like the first four names that pop up. I mean, you could get it, and it's like, yo, Moxley and Okada. Like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Right.
But it's something new, something different. They don't. I'm okay with it, but Mox has been a loner all this time, so it's kind of you know kind of awkward to see him tag. Other than like his when he had his little homeboy, he had his
Shield buddy.
sidekick there for a minute.
Yeah.
So
What do you think
but other than
about
that,
him playing up the AEW eye gimmick?
it's good. I mean, it's continuation because I mean it's a lost art in most cases. It's kind of like when Triple H, when Brock broke Triple H's arm, and then you saw Triple H with Floyd Mayweather in the ring, and he had a sling on. It is like, yo, keep the gimmick, keep the. You can't go wrong with keeping the gimmick.
um,
So,
earlier today, the New Beginnings in Osaka, I believe. John Moxley wrestled Suzuki. Neither of us have seen it yet. Do you think he's going to wrestle with the eye patch against somebody as dangerous as Suzuki, or do you think he's going to say, maybe it's time to take this off?
uh, depends. I mean, he's gonna fight Suzuki, so Suzuki's gonna be on the eye. I think it might come off during it because that would be Suzuki's style.
Right.
Speaking of Suzuki, he's getting ready to. They got him in a match with Orange Cassidy.
Well,
That's gonna happen in Florida. Just keep that in mind. Orange Cassidy versus Minoru Suzuki.
oh my God.
Breaking news. There you go.
Is there a funeral afterwards?
I don't know, but this is going to be like one of the most contrast stylistically matches
Oh
I've
my
ever
God.
seen.
I don't know
So
what that's going to be, but I will view it wherever I can possibly can.
I'll probably post the date because I remember I've seen it making the headwinds, but because they were already talking like you, it's a funeral coming for that boy. But
It's a match I never knew I wanted to see.
see, giving the people what they want. There you
Yeah.
go.
Um, Second from the last match, Tomohiro Ishii defeated Evil. Nothing was on the line, but that's a big blow to Evil. He's been on kind of a losing streak if you think about it.
Yeah, he's been lost to say the least. I just feel like I don't know what they're gonna. What's his defined role? Is he still gonna be with Lij? Is he gonna not be with it? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, should he stay or should he go? Type deal. And
Yeah,
and
because I've been hearing that there was rumors him and Sonata were leaving. That would kind of suck, if I'm being honest.
I, I wouldn't blame Sonata because I could have swore he would have been like a lot better as far as like looking a lot more stronger than he did now, and it shows because he had the freaking match of the year with bloody Okada per se Japan. So I mean, who am I to say? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, there's greener pastures out there, but I mean, that gimmick though is going to be a little bit awkward and different to see. But
That being said, let's get to the next match. Shingo Takagi defeated Goto for the Never Openweight Championship. This was a physical war between two horses, if I would say so myself.
that is true. And Tagage never open weight tag and never open weight singles. And this boy just
Shingo 2 belts.
Shingo 2 belts. Takage 2 belts.
um, that being said, you know, Naito has 2 belts. Shingo has 2 belts. There's a very real possibility of Hiromu and Bushi becoming double champion as well. Um, is kind of Sonata and Evil just in the dark right now?
Yeah, it's a lot of people in the dark. But I think they're just trying to make they're either trying to make people look strong or they're trying to whittle these belts down.
What do you mean by that?
Um, because think about it, their roster literally is it's not it's very top heavy. You know, and to me, I think having uh all these belts and it's hard for people to keep up with, especially an American audience. So I think if they're going to try to infiltrate the American audience, maybe they're going to like maybe combine and abeyance a couple of the belts.
Interesting.
I don't I'm not I don't know that for fact, but it would make sense.
Do you think that maybe Evil and Sonata aren't living up to their potential? I mean, Hiromu just came back, won a championship. Shingo's been in the heavyweight division 6 months and already won a heavyweight championship. And already held it longer than Evil has. So
It's possible, but I could also see the argument where if anybody were to leave Lij, it would be them two because they're kind of tight together. I mean, they're tight like how you know they're tight like how Naito and Takahashi's tight. So if they're setting something up where people are leaving, those two leaving together would make sense.
do you think that it's a wise decision for them to leave?
To leave Lij, I don't think so because Lij is probably as hot as it's ever been. They have an advantage of unlike most stables that have like 15 million people. It's usually been just 5 or 6. So those 5 or 6 are usually important. On the flip side, them leaving would also give it more intrigue because it's like, holy shit, the original 5 or 6 are gone.
And would that, where would they go? Would they maybe join a Chaos, a Bullet Club, a Suzuki Gun? Are we going to see Evil team up with Taguchi?
I couldn't see him. That's a tough one. Maybe they just go solo. I mean, Sonata's not like he's shown he can do some shit on his own. It's not like he's needing anybody. Evil needs it more than uh than Sonata.
Interesting.
Because I feel like Sonata, even in losing the Okada, still kind of got a little rub. Just because his peers gave him the rub.
Right. Going on to night 2, John Moxley teamed with Sho, Yo, and Taguchi to take on Minoru Suzuki, El Desperado, Nobu Kanemaru, and Dookie. Another what the fuck match?
Yeah, I think they just I think they always do that at maybe. I think they always do that at New Beginning, where they just mix it up. Some relief, you know. Stories are ending, and they're trying to figure out where to go.
It's interesting match. This is a fun match. But one match that kind of sucked the air out of the room for me. Rev Pro British Heavyweight Title match. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Will Ospreay to retain.
I mean, either way, you were losing. But I think you like Will Ospreay, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, both ways. I didn't like the match. I don't like either guys.
You were kind of hoping that the ring imploded, pretty much.
If that would happen, yeah. um, but as much as I hate Zack Sabre Jr., I was kind of wishing like stretch Will Ospreay to torture him a little bit. But Zack Sabre Jr. being an asshole, he didn't. It was kind of sort of a back and forward match. Just not. What do you think about two British wrestlers wrestling in the Japanese ring for a British championship?
I it. I mean, they're just trying to highlight the British strong style aspect of it, because to me, that's a style that's like been kind of in right now, the British strong style, and that's like Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Tony Storm, Katie Ray. Like I could keep going on and on. Like it's a group of people in Britain that are just giving these hard hitting Japanese inspired matches. Um, to me, it fits within the the umbrella of Japanese strong style, so it's not an issue. I mean, they're both exclusive to New Japan, and it's kind of like one of those working deals where it gives exposure. I mean, they defended the Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly had a match for the ROH title, so it's nothing out of the realm before, you know.
Right. But that was before they had like a IWGP United States champion. Do you think, looking into a crystal ball, we might be seeing an IWGP British Heavyweight Championship?
Uh, not nah. Reason being is because I feel like they're putting all their resources in trying to get America off the ground, and as far as consumerism, I would say America is number one in consumerism and trying to get people to buy tickets and go places and stuff like that. And Britain is, in a sense, they're loyal to their guys.
Right.
So anybody like that pops in and at their guy, they'll probably cheer for an Ace or an Okada. But if it's like, let's say, like for shits and giggles, if it was like uh, a Takagi versus a Tyler Bate, it's going to be 100% Tyler Bate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's one of those things where they're uberly loyal.
Speaking about New Japan in America, the New Beginnings tour in America ended with God Tamatanga Tangaloa defeating Finjuice for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. They are now 6-time champions.
Didn't take that long for that to happen. As soon as they lost, we were like, it's a matter of when. It's not even a matter of if. It's a matter of when
Right.
they gonna get the shits back. So that's nothing new to me.
But I mean, you're absolutely right. But like, who is going to step up to challenge God now? It kind of seems like the tag team
Yeah, they've
division
been
is a
wiping
very
everyone
low
out.
line.
Yeah, I mean, unless a Roppongi 3K comes up to heavyweight, maybe Sonata and Evil try to work their shit out. Um, you still got Finjuice. Uh, yeah, it's rather, and it's not like they got a tag team in Chaos that's just like popping off like that. Maybe like a Ishii and
Yano?
somebody from Chaos. You know what I mean? So I
Ishii and
mean,
Yano was usually the faction's tag team.
eh, but then that would seem like that they're playing off the Pete Dunne, uh, what the Matt Riddle angle. You know,
I mean, they
one
did it
super.
first.
I mean, yeah, true, but I'm just saying, like no one's gonna. Yeah, they did it first, but how many people saw it in America? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So
And
that's the bigger issue. But continue.
the main event would be Kazuchika Okada defeating Taichi. The match was around 25 minutes. Probably 10 minutes too long. What were your thoughts?
True, but that also like it also highlights Okada's weakness, so to where like he's an excellent wrestler, but he has a tendency to play to the level of the competition at times, and that's how he gets got. So that it goes with it his characters like cockiness.
Right. You know, matches like this is more or less to pick up other talent. That other talent being Taichi right now. Um, he's had a couple high profile matches now, whether it be against Naito or probably his best match ever was against Ishii. Um,
Mm-hmm.
did you think that this match made him look like a star, or do you kind of think it kind of set him back a little bit?
I don't think it sets him back because, in a sense, they're trying to make. He's probably one of the few people that are actually getting like bad vibes from the crowd. You know what I mean? Because hell, Naito tried to be a bad guy. The crowd was like, "We ain't having it." You know what I mean? Okada tried to be in this wandering land, and the crowd wasn't having it. Mox tried to be a bad guy, and they really wasn't having it. So he's one of the few people that can actually get the audience to want to kick his ass in New Japan, like naturally. So you gotta work with that, and he could be a number one heel. Other than Kenta, maybe him and Kenta, those are the only two. And Kenta because he's not of New Japan ilk. He came from Noah in NXT, so
Well,
they're
sort of
like, you're not our guy.
Taichi, not exactly the same route, but he's not a New Japan product either.
True, but Kenta is that he's always been looked at as that outsider anyway.
Right.
So it wasn't to me, or in my opinion, it was nothing different about it. I just think that as soon as they came in, they were like, "Fuck off," because he came in whooping people, so they were like, "No, we ain't having that." So
New
the
Japan
crowd had
fans
incentive.
are loyal to New Japan.
Oh yeah, they're hella low.
Yeah, because, okay, give him that big win against Kota Ibushi. I get it, it's the first night. He can't lose his first time. His win against Tanahashi, I was like, alright, but it's kind of should have been Tanahashi. But when he beat Evil, I was like, bullshit. No, there's no way he beat Evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's what the crowd was like. Hell no! So it coincided. It coincided with how the crowd went. They were like, "Fuck this!" Like, I can only imagine what happened if he had to beat Sonata. Jesus.
He did beat Sonata, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no.
No, I'm talking
Sonata
about.
beat him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if
Yeah.
they had to beat, man, that would have been ooh.
And the ending of the New Beginnings tour was this morning. neither of us have seen it once again, because we don't get up that early. So we will cover that next week in full. That will end our coverage of the New Japan New Beginnings tour. And we are wrestling with the Wednesday Night Wars. And let's start with NXT this week. I think we always
All
start with NXT
right.
anyway. Um,
Yeah, we do. It don't matter. Don't matter. No me importa.
what were your thoughts on NXT this week?
um, NXT was in that tough spot where they were coming off the Rumble and then they have their show and they're trying to build for their show after having to deal with the Rumble and then they had to deal with Worlds Collide. So it's a lot. It was a lot of fucking moving parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a lot to try to grasp and catch up with because you're like, okay, shit, this guy's going with this guy, but then they just so it's a lot to digest right now, and they're trying to get back to where. And then it didn't help when they threw Rhea Ripley and at Raw and for the title, trying to get her to go for the title, and it kind of further confused the shit with Bianca because it's like, okay, Bianca just chilling. She just gonna take this L because that's what they really want. You know what I mean? It kind of took the mystique out of that, but we'll get to that later. But overall, I see what they're trying to do. It's just that they were trying to do too much. It seems like they're trying to do too much in a little bit of time. And I think if they had to did Takeover Portland first to get those storylines out the way and then jump in the Worlds Collide, that would have made more sense. But, I they were just stuck between the rock and the hard place because they always do a takeover at Royal Rumble and, they probably had this plan and they're like, shit, we got to throw something in there.
My biggest takeaway from this week's NXT was how many fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish?
That was good. I'm not even gonna lie. That was good. That was really good.
It seems like Matt Riddle is like super entertaining to maybe the crowd. Maybe not the most popular guy backstage.
Yeah, I mean it. But that's the thing. It's you know what? We're gonna start calling that the Enzo effect because the crowd loves him and he gets a reaction, but he may not be the best backstage. So that makes sense.
That, Matt Riddle's a bad person behind the scenes or anything. He's just
he's blunt. He speaks his mind. I can see it now. He's the type of dude where it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
A pun, blunt.
Yes, blunt. Pun intended.
Pun intended.
So I mean, it gets him in heat. It gets him in trouble, but to me, it's not affecting his performance. So that's one of those things. It's something where he probably says something he shouldn't say, but he's getting used to the corporate machine, and he's more of a literal stuff. So it's gonna take a while to conform, or even listen. So, hey, let him be.
You compared him to Ezo Amore. It kind of seems like they were just waiting for him to do something bad or, quote unquote, allegedly do something bad to fire him. Do you think the Matt Riddle's in the same boat? Do you think they're waiting to get something on him to fire him?
Oh no! Oh no! When I say the Enzo effect, not the literal Enzo effect, I would say like where he kind of gets himself in trouble backstage, but the problem is that he's so over with the crowd with being entertaining. It it kind of washes it away, right? They kind of give him a little longer leash than what they usually do. Because if he wasn't getting a pop, he would have, punishment would have been a plenty. But since he's entertaining and the crowd loves him, and it gives him a longer leash than what most people would get.
And him and Pete Dunne won the Dusty Classic last
Dusty
night.
Classic, yep.
Um, you know, starting off, seeing the brackets, I was like, what the fuck? Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. But it just seems like these put together tag teams do really well in these tournaments.
But I think that's the point of it, right? I think that's been the point of it's been an emphasis of the Dusty Cup to show like, okay, and it's also an excuse to give people who probably are fledgling into tag teams, but it also gets to show like how personalities come together. Because I mean, we didn't think that they were going to win, but when they made the finals and they kind of like were at Worlds Collide and they were kind of doing their little promos, and I was like, oh yeah, they're winning. It's just a matter of time, because it's that odd couple thing, and it always gets over because you see Pete Dunne as a very, very serious motherfucker, for
Right.
better or for worse, and you see Matt Riddle as this happy-go-lucky dude, for better or for worse, and it works perfect. It always works perfectly, but it does take two to pull it off. So, and they pull it off good, because Pete Dunne's stoic as hell, and Matt Riddle's just like, hey, so it works.
That being said, the Undisputed Era and AOP are the only two actual tag teams to win the Dusty Classic out of 5 years.
Yeah, and the other three were a mix of what, Finn and Joe, and
Yeah.
that was to set up a storyline between them. And then you had Ricochet and Aleister Black, and then you have Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. And keep in mind, Pete Dunne made the finals with Roderick Strong, so
Right.
they're telling you that's the formula, mixed tag team.
We also saw
So
the official debut of Mercedes Martinez. I mean, she's so good, right?
yeah, she is. But I also am gonna admit, didn't know her voice was that high pitched. I was expecting a little bit more bass, but it works out. It's okay. I was expecting a little bit more bass, like a little, because she looks menacing, right?
Right.
Like she looked like she could fuck you up, like. And then she talks, and I'm like, oh shit, didn't see that coming.
It's kind of like a
So
China effect, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly, just like a China effect. But hey, but it also just shows you it's laughable, the damn depth of that women's roster. It's just the rich getting richer, man.
All right. So, what was your favorite moment from this NXT?
Um, if I could pick one, the entertainment wise, I would say the beginning of the NXT, the segment with Matt Riddle and them. The ending wise, um, I'd probably say the tag match at the end, because it's just they're just giving everybody that shine and everything, and it just shows how everything is intertwined between Undisputed Era and it's like the chaos that they caused is now coming back to bite them in the ass a little bit.
Right.
So excuse me, but and that's something that needs to be told with the group. Like, hey, eventually he's gonna come get your ass. But also an honorable mention: the Johnny Gargano, uh, Finn Balor interview segment was fucking cold. Gargano was like, where you losing to Bobby Lashley 17 weeks in a row. Like, damn. Like, no heart. No heart.
Yeah,
That's going to be the match of the night. That's going to be the match of the night, I feel. But
so you picked three. I can't be fair. Pick one out of them.
damn it. If I had to pick one, the Gargano Finn Balor.
All right, fine.
Because
that was a good one.
Because to me, that's past meets present. That's former Mr. NXT against Mr. Takeover. Like it's
Johnny Takeover.
Johnny Takeover. So it's going to be interesting, and it just shows you the depth of styles that Gargano's had. He's fought. I swear, I feel like he's fought like everybody on the roster in a Takeover.
At least twice.
At least twice. Like shit. Almost fucking Ciampa. Ricochet.
Adam Cole.
You know what I'm saying? Adam Cole. Like
we could go down the list.
It's the list. There's a fucking list. And it just like he's just good.
It's a list.
Yeah, it is. The list.
All right, least favorite moment.
Least favorite moment. I would say the Isaiah Swerve Angel Garza match.
Really?
Because and the reason, and this is why I say that, because it's either between them or the Doma Jovic and Killian Day, because it seemed like the people had they were sitting on their hands a little bit. They weren't really intense in those matches as much as you would think they would be, especially with Angel Garza, because Angel Garza kind of been on this roll, right? And Isaiah Swerve, he came out, no one really kind of gave him a reaction. So that's why I'm saying like they kind of sitting on their hands with it. Just with that, but that's not something with the wrestlers. It's something where it's not getting captured with the audience. So to me, that's a low point.
And what moment made you want to say, I could skip this segment, I could see what's going on AEW TV right now?
That's a good question. I mean, overall, it was a solid show. Me, I watched it through, so I really didn't have that whole vibe. Because they're kind of making you want to see what's going on. And that's not even us getting into the Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair,
right,
Rhea Ripley shit. You know what I mean? Right. And that, that was another thing, because it's kind of like, honestly, Charlotte just straight up. You see what I'm saying? And didn't that close the show? If I remember correctly?
No, that didn't close the show. The 6-man tag did.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was just making sure. But yeah, we didn't even get through that yet. So they were hoping that the bump from Charlotte would be kind of like the bump that Becky did, but it also just shows you like people are kind of tired of Charlotte. I'm not, because to me, she's a hell of a wrestler and she makes everybody look credible. But it also kind of shows you like their main roster is top heavy, and they need to do something with that and get all the girls to matter. So, because what good is having all that talent if you're not going to have the audience have them matter?
Right. All right, now switching gear to AEW. What was your overall impression of AEW this week?
AEW was a solid show as well to me. I see what they're trying to do, because they have unlike NXT, they have this long ass way to February 29th. So they gotta keep people gotta keep shit flying until like, next year. Until or not next year, but until the next 3 weeks or 2 weeks
Well,
rather.
it feels like a year.
So it feels like a year. Jesus. Yeah, it does, because what? They didn't when was their last pay-per-view?
uh, November.
Yeah, so it fucking feels forever. They're literally doing the old school WWE pay per view, or WWF pay per view format. By that fucking matter,
Right.
but um, but it kind of makes people want to tune in, kind of like how Takeover does. So it's no different. Um, but overall, it's an okay show. There were some things that were good. Some things that they need to improve. Uh, some things that were confusing a bit. But overall, it got people entertained. I think the one thing that they have the advantage of, though, is the fact that they're, unlike NXT, they're in a different city every night. So they're getting a whole different energy vibe from the crowd. So that helps them in spades, even if the arena's not like, because people then sent pictures of the arena and how like their tickets are not selling or whatever the case may be. I could make the argument that's pretty much all across the board, because people are kind of being a little bit more frugal nowadays. But that's a whole nother topic. But um, I see what they're trying to do. It's just that they're just trying to keep people and linger. Um, but hey, they won. They won the ratings this week, so I mean they've been winning constantly, so they're getting the demo that they want. But I mean, I still don't know who the hell a major star is there, other than the usual suspects. So,
I mean,
yeah.
aren't they always, don't they always win the ratings war? I mean, they're not.
No, NXT got a couple of them. They haven't won every week, but I think NXT's best run was like heading to Survivor Series, and where they were doing the whole brand war thing. So that was their best time. Um, but to me, I think as much as NXT is lacking in the ratings, they are the better brand as far as making their stars.
Right. But
And that,
that's having the
you
machine
know,
behind you.
right, because granted, don't get me wrong, I love SCU, but what's the point of having best friends be the sacrificial lamb to SCU? Because if I was best friends, I think that win is needed a lot more for them than SCU, especially considering SCU gets the mandatory rematch for the tag titles anyway. So, you know, little shit like that. But
The
I
small
mean,
details.
little details. It's just a little shit. Like it's not like. And then and I feel like they also explained the like during that match too. Like they were trying to be so adept at uh, explaining the tag rules, which
They
is
still haven't
good
been obeying
because
them.
that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? So those little shits like that, maybe not to anyone who doesn't care, but to someone who's been used to it, you're like, hey, this is
Right.
But I still think they're still trying to get their commentary together. That's another thing too. Their commentary. They're trying to get their commentary together. I feel like sometimes they're kind of out of place. They're talking out of turn. People are not hearing each other. So
Oh yeah.
and it showed. It showed. But People gonna tell you, oh, they're a work in progress, and I'm like, bro, they've been out for like a year and a half. Like
Right.
it's damn near a year. It's damn near a year. They don't get that excuse anymore. Shit.
What was the best moment from this week's AEW Dynamite?
Uh, the best. I wouldn't say there's the one that sticks out the most, but if there was one, I would say the Darby Allin segment because they just said Darby Allin has a video, then they showed Darby Allin, and then they just showed Darby Allin getting like the skateboard fucked up with his throat, and he shows his throat was still fucked up, and then he had a blowtorch, and he just started torching Sammy and Chris Jericho, which I don't know what that means. Does that mean he's going for the title? Does that? But it was something where it was a nice touch to him to like be like, bitch, I'm gonna get my revenge without having to say anything.
Right.
And then after the video got showed, like they didn't say shit. So I was like, okay, what do they think of this video? It just went straight to the intros of the next match, and I'm like, what do y'all think of that shit, guys? Like, I think that's a little fucking creepy. But what do you think, Jimmy? And nothing is said. You're like, fuck.
I mean, people have been asking, why why is the Dark Order doing what they're doing, yada yada yada. But where the fuck did Darby Allin get a blowtorch from? That's a question I'd like to know.
You didn't know? Bruce Pritchard said he got it from Blowtorch RS.
Oh, okay. Is that in Stanford?
Maybe.
Alright, what was the least best segment on this show?
The least. If I had to
Dobbins.
pick the least amount of this show, let's see, who would it be? Because the Pac and Kenny thing would be the least. Because to me, it was like, why would Pac be going after Kenny even though Pac beat Kenny? Like, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Well, no, he beat last match that they had together. Kenny beat Pac, so he wants his rubber match.
But to me, I always thought that first one mattered the most because he fucking beat the birds off his ass. If he's asking me, but
people saw it too.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, that I would have been like, I'd be pissed out of you the first time. This second time don't mean shit to me. But hey, each his own. And then when he went after Rio, and then Kenny kind of got emotional about Rio, and we all know how he feels about Rio. And then Nyla Rose came out, and they tried to powerbomb her through the table. The table couldn't break because she's like 20 pounds soaking wet. You know, little shit like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And considering that, he's been torturing Michael Nakazawa for like a month now, and Kenny's done nothing about it. I'm just glad that they finally got the match. We could move on.
Yeah, but I also see because he's a little busy with the Elite and how Hangman Page has been distant like hell, and he's like, "Fuck y'all, I'm on my own."
Well, Hangman Page costing Kenny the match.
That could happen, but I feel like Hangman Page his beef is going to be more with the Young Bucks than Kenny. I mean it's growing with Kenny, But I think it's just like that old adage, winning cures all. So they're the champ. So he's going to deal with it until it's time for them to fight the Young Bucks, which is going to happen down the line. It's got to happen down the line.
And what segment this week made you want to change the channel? Yes, no, lot to pick from.
Yeah, there we go. I would say that, like I was saying, I was talking Jesus. I mean, but the Kenny Pac thing was like the thing that was like, what is this? Like, it's kind of confusing. The Dark Order after the match thing was kind of like,
I gotta go see the
because
commercial. I speeded it up.
well, and the only reason it's like, is because when Christopher Daniels came out and they left it, I would have went to SCU going, hey, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Because if you're trying to spread that dissension, that would be the way to spread it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yo, what the hell? Like, how come they didn't beat you up? They was kicking our asses. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the Cody thing, I get what they're doing, the emotional appeal, but come on, man, I'm a black kid from the South, and I got a lot of ass whoopings in my day with a belt. And if a belt can knock you, I mean, I can see a belt whooping you unconscious as a 5-year-old, but as a grown man, nah, bruh. It didn't resonate with me because I guess I got a lot of ass whoopings as a kid. So I was like, man, you pass it out from the belt? Like, I got whooped with wood back scratchers that are worse than that. Like, so that's just me. That's just a personal thing. So,
Alright, well, let me
uh,
ask you this. Okay, MJF hitting him 9 times with the belt didn't resonate. What about the one shot that Warlow gave him? Because that seemed like it really, like, wow.
but that felt like more like he was about to clothesline his ass. It wasn't the one from him I can see because that felt like a punch. But the
What if
other
all,
9,
what about if all 10 was from Warlow?
then you would say something. Because if he
Okay.
knocked your ass out at 1, and you still got 9 to go, bruh. You would have got me there. Because I and the reason and I get why they're doing it because it's just a pessimistic thing. But to me, from a size wise, I don't see I see what they're getting at, the emotional the emotional touch of the psychological warfare. But if you really wanted to like get it in, like with me, have that big dude beat his ass 10 times because that would seem more like a mismatch than
Right,
MJF, which he's a good wrestler, but hell, he's all of 5'10".
right,
He can only muster up so much strength. You know?
yeah.
So that's just me. That's
Alright,
just me. But
NXT AEW, who won the war this week?
personally, I think it's a draw.
Oh, interesting.
Because and the reason I say that because NXT is trying to do too much in a little bit of time, and it kind of distorts away from what their core essence is. AEW, they are doing good, not great. There's some things that could be improved, and they still need to have a women's division, and they need to have a better tag division, and they need to teach Sammy Guevara how to talk when he's on the bloody microphone. But other than that, you know what I mean? Like, I think both shows had their flaws. To me, it was a push this week.
Alright, and that will conclude our coverage of the Wednesday Night Wars. and we are wrestling with NXT Takeover Portland. It's next week, and these are the matches that
I
will.
said Sunday. It's tomorrow.
No, it's not tomorrow. It's next Sunday.
Really?
Yep. 2 days after
I thought it was.
Valentine's Day.
Wait a minute. They're going against All Star Weekend? Oh, God. They are just pushing it, bro. Like, ugh.
That being
Yeah,
said, there's
oh, they're on Sunday. They're next Sunday. That's right. Oh man, I'm letting you know right now. People are gonna be watching the All Star game this weekend, or that weekend, because they done changed the rules to implement a Kobe thing, and Kobe dying kind of got everybody's head on a tilt. In All Star Weekend, it's gonna be Kobe land. So I don't see NXT getting a lot of views other than the dedicated wrestling fan, because the casual sports fan is going to be in that game for Kobe.
well, the best thing about NXT is that it's on demand. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that is a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing, but as far as like their social media numbers, it's
Right.
gonna pale in comparison. So just be prepared for that.
I will be sure to remind Scooter when he's covering it on the remix. That being said, the main event, Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. Who wins?
Daddy is on my water.
I've been iffy on this one because it's like Cole's been the hottest guy since he got that belt.
Right.
Ciampa never lost the belt.
Right.
So you're thinking they're going to feud, but who's going to be the guy that comes up after that feud?
I have an idea,
if
but I'm going to wait until I hear what you say.
And my thing is this: it's Champ. I feel like Ciampa's going to win.
Oh.
But if Ciampa wins, that means Gargano's going to have to lose.
Huh.
Because I feel like Finn is going to be the next challenger.
Interesting. I am going with Adam Cole because I think they're going to save Tommaso Ciampa winning the title for WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, I mean, I see it, but I wouldn't think they would hold that moment because it's not like he lost the belt and he's trying to get it back. He's getting back a belt he never lost. Now I can see I can see it having a funky finish because to me I feel like this is going to be a bad night all around for Undisputed Era because to be quite honest, as a stable, they've been fucking wrecking all of 2019. So 2020 would be the year where there's a couple of hiccups, a couple of, bad times, people getting on each other's nerves. The team is not as functional as it was. So that's how I see it. But that's why I say if Adam Cole loses, that's kind of like
Go, baby.
That's right. Oh my. Oh God. Oh. I die a happy man. I die a happy man tonight. All those years of hard work coming out. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm just so proud. I feel like I just won an NBA championship. But anyways. But anywho. Yeah, I think it's going to be the start. So I would say a Finn. I would say Ciampa wins. They have a little feud. Maybe they'll have a takeover, but Finn's going to be in the wings because he's been on a fucking roll. So I don't see him, He's get all him going. Him being on the streak is gonna get him to.
All right, let's read up.
Next match, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the NXT Women's Championship.
Ripley next.
Yeah, I may have swayed, but knowing that she's going to fight Charlotte at Mania, that's a buy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, just the simple fact that the fact that Charlotte came on and dismissed her
Right.
tells me everything I needed to know. Even with Ripley, fending up for her, that said everything I needed to hear.
Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano.
I think this is a Balor win because Gargano's always looks good in defeat. So to him, it really doesn't matter.
I can do it.
So I think of Finn, and I think he'll be submitting himself as the #1 contender for the title. Because after Gargano,
But how many takeovers has he actually won?
Can you do that? Look,
oof.
Exactly.
Maybe 5? I'm guessing 5.
I am a
So Scooter will have
I
that
raise my shoulders. Can
that
you do
information later on.
Oh no, we doing this right now.
Oh my god.
We doing this right now. Cause that just had me like
Wave your arms.
that
wave
just
your
ugh.
arms, wave- I can do
Takeover
it.
record. That is. I know he was on a roll where he lost like 5 or 6 straight.
I am a seal. And
I mean, he
clap my
beat.
hands.
I mean,
Can
does
you do it?
does Worlds Collide count?
I can do it.
Let's say no.
No. Bad. Okay. So
I am a gorilla.
counting
I
that,
love my
There you
chest.
go.
Can you do it?
counting that. Let's see.
I can do it.
He beat
I am
Takeover.
a cat
Let's
and
see.
I arch my back.
Brooklyn,
Can you
they
do it? Arch your
lost.
back. Come on, you gotta go on your
Pull up
right here like this.
Okay, so first match, takeover match was against Velveteen Dream,
You're on your
defeat.
knees. You're on your knees.
Yep.
And then arch your
Uh,
back.
Let's see.
Arch your back.
Not even including the
Ooh.
tag matches with DIY. He took 2 there.
See, like the kitty cat.
wait, this isn't.
You want to see to see what else they do?
He this is an interesting thing. I am so for it.
Wiggle my
We
hips.
will
This
definitely
is-
have
this-
that
Wiggle your hips. Go up there, stand up and
that
shake your
information
hips.
later on.
Shake your hips.
Ooh,
Oh, you
1.
can do it.
So let's see.
Good job, CJ.
1,
Go wiggle his hips.
2.
All right, I am a camel and I've been. my knees.
Eesh, it's looking grim. That takeover record's
Yeah.
bad. He's still upside down. He's upside down because he lost to
I am
Cole.
a donkey and I kick my leg. Can you
Lost to
do
Cole
it?
twice, so that's 2.
Oh,
Do you
boy,
count?
can
And
you
it
do
was
Jesus,
a
this-
2 out of 3 false match, so you could
Yeah!
count that
Oh
being
my
like 2
goodness!
false.
Good
I mean,
job,
2 lost.
buddy.
Think about. Oh, here we go.
I am a
1,
dog.
2,
Stomp
3,
my foot.
4,
You
5,
do it? Yes,
6.
you can.
No, 5. 5.
Yes. Come
So
here,
he
now,
is
look at
1,
this.
2, 3,
I am I.
5. He only won 5.
Can you
Well,
do
you were
it?
right on the money with
Look
that.
at your toes. Look at I can wiggle my
Yeah, I was like 5. Because Jesus, Adam Cole won. That's T lost 2 to Adam Cole, lost to Aleister Black, lost 2 to Ciampa, lost 2 to Almas, lost 3 to Almas, lost 3 to AOP, and then lost to what the fuck, Dasher Wilder. So yeah, he's fucking upside down.
There are lots of things I want to
He's
try.
hella upside down. Hella.
That's
That's why I was like, he's only got 5. Yeah, I was like, he's only got about 5.
I might need to practice.
Damn, I'm on the money with that one. Yeah, buddy.
You called that perfectly.
I can try something new. I might like it.
Now we have North American Championship match. Keith Lee versus
It
Dominic
sounded seems
Dijakovic.
hard at first. I like to
Keith Lee
imagine
next.
Yeah, a bye there.
Because WWE always has this thing where they go like, "Oh my God, you won your title, so let's have you defend it against the person that whooped your ass 4 months ago." like, you remember me? Let me get the title shot so I can take this L. Like, and Keith Lee, like, okay, fam.
At first, he couldn't do the puzzle.
NXT Tag Team Championship match. The Undisputed Era versus the Broserweights.
Doing the puzzle now.
This one, I am a little confused. I feel like this is the Broserweights to win
It's okay.
because they've been so strong. I think
It helps to remember things.
Undisputed Era had the belts for a long time. They have no one to fight after this, so I'm gonna go Broserweights.
I may want to quit.
I'm going with Undisputed Era.
Breath and stay calm.
I think it makes the most
Really?
sense for them to win.
It's okay. I can keep.
Really?
More
So
sense than
Riddle's
the
gonna.
Broserweights.
So Riddle's tag team dreams goes up in smoke.
When I finish what I start, you will see
Oh,
that
boo.
this helps us.
Dakota Kai versus Tegan Knox in a street fight.
Oh God, that's another one they shit the bed on. I'm like, yo,
They keep at it.
why didn't they?
Or they do it well.
The way that they made it seem, it was hella personal, and the way that match ended, it was like, what the fuck? So I feel like Dakota should be winning these things because what's the point of the turn if she's not going to benefit?
Right. And she already lost to Tegan once.
Right, and that was shitty because I felt like that at best, if you really were like going to protect that, if you were really going to go to the street fight method, you should have had like Dakota could have lost, but she could have lost by count out. Like, fuck this, I'm out. You know what I mean? To keep her from seeing, to keep the visualization of her getting pinned away. And I felt like a count out would have been better, or a DQ. Tegan Knox so fucking like hell bent on revenge that she beat her ass with the brace, and fucking DQ. You know what I mean? Like, to keep it going.
Right.
Because that pin felt so definite. Did it not?
Yes, you're absolutely right about that.
So that's where it lost me. That's where they lost me. See, I could criticize WWE.
If only Mitch was here to hear it.
Yeah, see, he missed it. He missed his shot, son. See, I'm not that biased. I'm not biased. Talk shit about everybody, son.
So, yeah, I'm in the boat that Dakota needs to win. And I think this might be the match of the night. I'm
Really?
that. Yeah.
I like Dakota too, but
I mean, I'm biased. I like Dakota. But this has potential.
I think everyone's biased when it comes to Dakota.
Yeah. The anime princess.
Yeah, she does look like a Japanese anime fighter. Oh God! But yeah,
And
you ain't lying.
we will be covering all of that when it happens on Sunday. You could join
Sunday.
You can join Scooter Dust on the remix on the NLW or whatever it's called, the network.
The MLW, I think it's the MLW network. MBW,
and the UN, the UN.
The UBN network.
Yes, that is correct.
There you go. See, we over here. BMW, TNT, MCI.
You're welcome, Scooter.
We're horrible. Sorry, Scooter. My bad.
That will conclude our coverage of NXT Takeover Portland. If you want to continue the conversation with me and Coleco, you can find us on Twitter. You can find me at JamesJ993. Where can they find Coleco?
I am Coleco, and as we are in what, WrestleMania season, couple of fundraisers. One is going to be for Allison Kay. Shout out to her. She does like a little fundraiser, and if you get to a certain amount, she will run out in the snow in her underwear. So who wouldn't like to see Allison Kay in her underwear?
Is he going to be on top?
Secondly, if you don't, then hey, that's up to you. But hey, submit for a good cause. And then also another one, they Mania Club. They always do a one for Connor's Cure. They're really big on it. They're trying to hit the goal of 20K. They actually auctioned off stuff to get there. One of the things that was auctioned off was the Bray Wyatt Leather Championship belts. So if you're looking for one of those and not trying to pay like 18 grand, you might want to try to go with a bid.
You can also find Mitch Mayhem at Mitch Mayhem X. Ask him why he forgot to be on the show tonight.
I don't think he forgot.
Oh no,
He's
I
just
just got
chilling.
a text message from him.
Oh well, shit. There it goes. I tried, bitch. I tried. Optimism.
And you could find Scooter Dust at Scooter Dusk. Ask him what network he's on that he does the remix.
I want to say UNB because for some odd reason I said UBN and I was listening to a rap album and UBN sounds just U Black. Mm-mm. So so I'm used to something else. So I could be wrong too. Sorry, Scooter. I'm sorry. Don't beat me up.
Don't worry, if you're typing Mercedes Martinez, he won't bother you. He's afraid.
Well, if he has Mercedes Martinez's voice, then maybe I will be a little bit better, feel a little bit better.
It's the UNB Sports.
There you go, UNB. I said UBN. I'm all off. All off.
And if you like the show, please like, subscribe, and comment. For Coleco Yachts, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling Wet. Entertainment.